This episode of Under the Apron is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard yet, Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with all the tools you need, all in one place. Just type in anchor.fm on your browser and start creating that podcast that you've been talking about starting all year long. Take advantage of Anchor's creation tools. You can record, edit, add music, or any type of audio you like right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast on many different listening platforms, such as Spotify, Apple, Google, or even Stitcher. And that's just to name a few. It's everything you need to make a podcast. And want to know what's the best part about it? Absolutely, totally free. Join us and download the Anchor app on your phone or go to anchor.fm on your browser to get started right away. Link will be in the show notes.
What is up? This is Fuck It, Let's Talk with your host, Christine. Monthly, I'll be here to discuss the ups and woes of parenting and explore topics with other parents, or not parents, in hopes of finding a little sanity. Just a warning, the keyword here is puke. Eventually you'll get it. So come join me where we explore honest takes on parenting and life. Don't forget to follow on Spotify or subscribe wherever else the podcast is available. Be sure to check out the polls on Anchor, where you can also show some support if it tickles your fancy. And if you want more, head on over to the newsletter, F It Let's Talk on WordPress. I look forward to chatting with you. Fuck it. Let's talk.
You're listening to Mama Murdered a Podcast. I'm your host, AB. Mama Murdered a Podcast is a podcast where me, the mama, will be killing it on the podcast. We'll be taking a deep dive into things that are hard to talk about and even harder to believe that these things actually happen in the world that we live in. This entire podcast will be a trigger warning. I'll be talking about triggering topics while I dive headfirst into a lot of the cases that I'll be covering. New episodes will be released every week on Wednesdays because nobody likes Mondays and because Fridays are for day drinking and barbecues. Some of the case topics will be murder, of course, serial killers, like Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, missing persons cases, like 5-year-old Summer Wells, who vanished from her own yard in broad daylight in the middle of June in Tennessee in 2021. And especially the ones where it kind of seems like they just vanished into thin air, like Brian Schaefer. He walked into a bar, but he never walked out. He's still never been seen again. I'll also be covering cold cases and lesser-known cases. Join me every Wednesday to talk about all things tragic, murder, and things that happen in the downright ugliest sides of society. If you like what you hear and you want to support the podcast, you can rate me on Spotify. You can also leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at murdered_mama. All of these things are free and they only take about a second to do, and it really does help grow the podcast. If you have any case suggestions, please send them my way. You can send them to the email address mamamurderedapodcast@gmail.com.
Welcome back, podcasting friends. This is episode 96. And if you listened to the last episode, which was the WrestleMania 12 review, up to the Backlot Brawl, you noticed I left out one important match in that event. Well, today I'm going to be talking about that specific 1-hour Iron Man match. And while the match is going on, I'll be down here coming to you from Under the Apron. I know I accidentally left out the part where I would review the show in the last episode, so I'm going to include it in here. So let's start with the backstory of this match heading into WrestleMania. The year prior, the main event of WrestleMania 11 was Diesel, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Kevin Nash coming in as WWE World Champion, taking on Shawn Michaels, who had won the Royal Rumble that year, coming in as number 1 and outlasting 29 other wrestlers. He lost, and the next day he was powerbombed by Psycho Sid, and basically he was out for a few months to rehab his back. This, in turn, was the year for Diesel to do as much damage as he could as the World Champion, but the ratings went down drastically that year. Meanwhile, Shawn Michaels had come back by around SummerSlam to win the Intercontinental title from Razor Ramon in the ladder match. But after he got into an altercation with some Marines at a bar and had to vacate his newly won IC Championship belt, no, really, an altercation with some Marines because somebody decided to flirt with one of the Marines' girlfriends. This in turn led to him and his buddies beating up Shawn Michaels at a bar. Look it up. It's really a bad thing. Fast forward to Survivor Series. Diesel lost the World Championship to Bret Hart in November. Poor Bret was in the middle of a feud between Diesel and Undertaker, who were costing each other matches and careers. Shawn Michaels once again won the Royal Rumble in 1996 and scored his ticket to WrestleMania, but someone else wanted a shot at that ticket at that February's In Your House, and that was Owen Hart. You see, earlier in December, Shawn Michaels suffered a concussion at the hands of Owen Hart, or so they say. So to Owen's benefit, he wanted to challenge Shawn for that opportunity at WrestleMania, but he came out a bit too short. Shawn Michaels won. So the stage was set. Shawn Michaels would face Bret Hart for the WWE Championship, and it was announced later in the week that it would be in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Whoever scored the most falls within those 60 minutes would be declared the winner. Pat Patterson had sold this idea of the match to Vince McMahon for HBK and Bret Hart because he knew they both could deliver. So with that in mind, let's get on with it. Heading into this match, Shawn Michaels got the assist by getting his wrestling trainer from the 80s to manage him. Weeks heading into this match, we saw vignettes and promos of Jose Lothario training Shawn Michaels in all shapes or form of workouts to train for a 1 hour match. Jose came out to the ring first and stepped onto the top rope to point at the sky. Shawn Michaels' music hits, and he's at the top of the arena, ziplining and propelling down to the ring. He wanted all the attention on him. He wanted to be Mr. WrestleMania. This is the reason why he's Mr. WrestleMania. However, after, it was Bret Hart who made his way out to the ring the usual way. He didn't care. He came out to do one thing and one specific thing only, to defend his WWE World Championship belt. Weeks prior, his vignettes and promos, he was being trained by his father, Stu Hart, in the ever-famous dungeon back in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, his hometown. You saw vignettes and promos of Stu stretching, helping him, giving him tips on submission moves, helping him do cardio and other forms of workouts. No pomps and circumstances for Bret Hart, because he knows how to make his way to the ring like a ring general. They stand face to face with each other in the ring, and referee Earl Hebner with WWE President Kayfabe Gorilla Monsoon explains the rules to them. There was a lot of zooming in on Shawn and Bret's face for this match, which was new and ultimately never done again because it was weird, but it served for dramatic effects. Hart devised the plan system for both of them to get through the 1 hour match, and you basically saw it throughout the match. They both were able to come up with a plan to communicate their match comfort levels by whispering a number to each other. Anything below a 5 meant they were feeling good and kept going. Don't stop. You're good. Anything above an 8 meant they needed to slow down. And if they said 10, regroup by doing resting holds. And you saw a lot of resting holds. Now go back and watch the entire match and knowing this number. I did. I will tell you when they start using these rest holds and during tell you different statistics and facts about them and as well as this match. Bret Hart traditionally goes outside before every match and hands his glasses over to a lucky fan, a lucky little kid. This time, however, he went up to his son Blade and threw away his hat, his Shawn Michaels hat, and gave him his own glasses, as well as a high five. Blade, you are the winner of this at all costs. Bret Hart goes back in the ring, and the match starts. They lock up. Two of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Bret the Hitman Hart, the technician, the submission expert, the hitman, and Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, the high flyer, the whatever he does. Both of them, both are at their peak here. WrestleMania 12 is, I love this match. Of course, I've done episodes, I've done questions, I've asked questions. If you were to have an 8-hour wrestling tape and you wanted to show it off to your friends, what match would be included in it? This is the match. This is the match I would include. This 1 hour match. And it would be towards the very end. The last hour of that tape would include this match. Because everything else before it would be a bunch of other matches as well. But this match is what I love the most out of these two. Before this, Bret Hart has faced Shawn Michaels 3 other different times. Once at a primetime wrestling event for the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match, the first ever ladder match recorded in WWF history. July 21st, 1992. It was 14 minutes. Look it up on Peacock. It's there. Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. Bret Hart wins. The next one was a Survivor Series in 92. At this time, Bret Hart had lost the Intercontinental Championship to the British Bulldog at SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium in his hometown, which in 10 turned it around for British Bulldog to face Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels wins the match. Shawn Michaels wins the Intercontinental Championship. British Bulldog gets fired for drugs usage. There's a long story there. This match, Survivor Series 92, champion versus champion, it only lasted 26 minutes and 40 seconds. The third match that I've known them compete in, it was the Hart family. Bret, Owen, Bruce, and Keith Hart originally was supposed to face not Shawn Michaels. Originally was supposed to face Jerry the King Lawler and his Knights. Instead, Jerry Lawler had to mysteriously get taken out of it. And instead, Shawn Michaels gets put in at the last minute. And they devised a completely new plan for them. So, Hart family defeated Shawn Michaels and his Knights. It lasted 30 minutes and 57 seconds.
I'm here to get drunk.
Mm-hmm. I have about half a cup of vodka. Drink.
Wait, are we live? Hi, I'm Jessica.
One professional skill that I would really like to learn is stripping.
I'm Sonia.
Because, I'm okay with not being artistic. I'm just that's cool.
And I'm Dawn Marie.
And we are opinionated lushes. I'll make a tomato vodka soup.
Ooh.
Also known as a Caesar.
Once a week, we get together to drink and talk shit. We start our episodes off with a question and a drink word. We usually never stay on topic or wait for the drink word to start drinking.
You're already breaking the game.
There's a new episode of Opinionated Lushes every Friday on all streaming platforms.
Just testing mattresses. Why isn't that a job?
It probably is.
An unedited episode Saturday on YouTube.
You just want to tell people you love them?
Yeah, sometimes you need it.
It just sounds dangerous.
Have a cocktail suggestion?
A topic of interest. A good drinking word?
Feel free to DM us on Instagram or email us at opinionatedlushes@gmail.com. If I don't know you, I will.
So go ahead, grab a drink, any kind of drink, and get ready to laugh with us and share our drunken opinions.
Before I continue, the candle that I got from Dark Fate Creations is almost out. It still smells like Fruit Loops. So I'm probably going to get another one, and I have my eyes on one and just in time for April. That's birthday month for those that don't know. The one I got a few months ago for Christmas from them was called Serial Killer. And according to the creator of the candle and owner of Dark Fate Creations, Liz Newman, friends since high school by the way, she was inspired by the Halloween episode I did in October. So I'm definitely going to be ordering Let Them Eat Cake. And this one smells like lavender, vanilla, and buttercream, deliciously blended to create an elegant slice of heaven, aka cake. For those that are new here and want to support a small business, check out Dark Fate Creations. Their candles are vibrant, colorful, marble tops, amazing, mouth-watering fragrances, fueled by lovely braided cotton wicks. Paper threads woven into every cotton wick for clean, romantic, slow, and consistent burn. Each candle is unique from the next, as they are hand-mixed and hand-poured, right in Grass Valley, California. They use only coconut and soy waxes, paraben-free, for a safer, cleaner, and longer burn time. That's almost 72 hours. They not only care about the look, fragrance, and quality of their candles, and as well as the other products, but also the effects they have in your homes. So just check out some candles. I burn mine every other night. I'm about to start the podcast, and don't forget to include a car diffuser. The link will be in the show notes. Back to the match. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels square up. Bret tries to take on Shawn and puts him in a shoot submission move, but Shawn escapes out of it. They go back to their corners. They square up again. This time Shawn tries to take down Bret and puts him in a little submission of his own, but Bret gets out of it. They each go back to their corners again. They both were trained by the best. Shawn Michaels by Jose Lothario, and Bret Hart by Stu Hart, his own father. Both of them going to this match knowing that they can out-wrestle each other, that they could possibly out-wrestle each other. Shawn gets Bret in a arm cinch hold, but Bret reverses it and back to square one, where he does a headlock resting hold. While the wrestling hold is going on, let me tell you about it. Shawn Michaels, statistically speaking, Intercontinental Champion 3 times, World Tag Team Champion 2 times with Diesel. After this match, 1 time with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and John Cena. And then, after this whole match ends, WWF Champion 3 times, World Heavyweight Champion 1 time, and European Champion 1 time. He was the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Most Popular Wrestler of the Year in 1996. He was the Pro Wrestler Illustrated #1 out of the top 500 in 1996. And this match right here won Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Match of the Year in 1996. Wrestling Observer Newsletter gave him the most charismatic in 1996. After being in the headlock for at least a few minutes, Michaels throws Bret Hart to the ropes. Bret Hart comes back. Michaels hip tosses him, but Bret does the same thing to Michaels, throws him to the ropes, hip toss, both at the Same moves coming in, trying to outdo the other. Bret, once again, does a headlock on Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart, he was WWE Champion 3 times during this era. After this, when he came back, he won the belt 2 more times. But before that, he was 2 time WWE IC Champion, 2 time WWE Tag Team Champion. He won King of the Ring in 1991 and in 1993. He was Pro Wrestling Illustrated's #1 of the top 100, 500 in 1993 and 1994. And when he came back after a 10-year hiatus, he became a U.S. champion 1 time. He went to WCW and became a 2 time world champion, a 4 time U.S. champion, and held the World Tag Team titles 1 time only with, you guessed it, Goldberg. Maybe this is the reason why it was critically panned, because they kept using rest holds after rest hold after rest hold. Like they were actually wrestling, trying to out wrestle each other, trying to put one in a headlock and the other one in a headlock right after the other. It just means that they were trying to get the other one to tired out. At one point, they tried to say that Shawn Michaels was strategizing. Bret Hart was also strategizing here. Both men came in with a great deal of strategy, but Shawn was more of an instinct person. Bret is more of a strategist, according to Jerry Lawler and Vince McMahon on commentary. Every time they were thrown against the ropes, one or the other would do a quick move, a quick roll up, a quick anything, up until this by 53 minutes when Shawn Michaels finally started to work the arm. Leg drops on the arm. He's trying to do something to make him believe that he can do something later on during the hour. It's going to be a long hour. Hart recalls sitting with Michaels for 3 hours, putting together the entire match. Michaels came up with the first 25 minutes or so. Hart composed the next half hour, and the last 5 were all Shawn's. They went over the finer details until both were able to recall them with relative ease. According to Bret Hart, he told Michaels during the planning stage of the match that he wouldn't shake his hand afterwards in order to build heat for the eventual rematch between the two. He recalls Michaels having no issue with this proposal because it would come into play later on. Michaels, for his part, seemed legitimately miffed about the fact in his first book. He charged with that Hart didn't shake his hand and didn't even bother to speak to him afterward. Hart added that Brother Owen phoned him the next day to say he had real heat with Michaels for not shaking his hand, which Bret attributed to being part of the grander work. As we all know, the issues between Hart and Michaels certainly did not end here. Bret pushes Shawn Michaels into the corner. They break the hold. The referee asked him to get off him. Bret drives his shoulder into Shawn's abdomen midsection area. Shawn reverses it, punches Bret in the face some more, throws him into the corner. Bret reverses it. Shawn gets up from there, catches Bret, and throws him outside with his legs. Love the pacing of this match. It keeps on going. Bret circles the ring. Shawn stays in the ring. He knows. That's 10 minutes of this match already has gone by. None of them has scored a pinfall. None of them will score a pinfall. Hart suggested neither of them score a fall during the 60-minute match, and Michaels agreed, noting that they are the top guys and should be difficult to beat. Bret Hart gets back in the ring after the head scissors. They square up again. They lock up again. Shawn Michaels reverses the arm drag and again another rest hold. Shawn throws Brett into the ropes. Brett reverses it again, throws him to the outside, but Shawn Michaels holds on to the ropes, just like he did at the Royal Rumble in 1995, just like he did at the Royal Rumble in 1996, to win both Rumbles. Brett didn't realize that he did that. He turns around, and Shawn Michaels comes back in the ring and grabs his head and throws him out. Puts him in a uh, what is that, arm drag again, and again another rest hold. Brett gets out of the arm clench, throws Shawn Michaels to the ropes, comes back, knees him in the gut, and delivers a headbutt onto the abdomen. Brett again takes him down for another headlock. Shawn Michaels gets out of it, hits a leg drop of his own on Bret Hart. 15 minutes have gone by, and all this match is rest hold. Someone went. What did they say about the numbers of this? That they got lost during the match, and it's at a 10 again when they're supposed to be at a 5, working at a 5. Anything above an 8 meant they needed to slow down, and if they said 10, regroup by doing resting holds. They've been doing rest holds throughout the entire 15 minutes that they've done this. Okay, so I get the resting holds. That means that Shawn Michaels is trying to get Bret Hart to submit. Referee Earl Hebner gets in there in Bret Hart's face, trying to ask if he gives up. Bret says no. 45 minutes, they finally start getting up. Bret tries to do a sharpshooter on Shawn, but he's been in matches, in these type of matches against Bret Hart before. He knows what's coming up. He squirms out of it, goes towards the ropes, and they break the hold. Shawn Michaels tries to get up, but Bret immediately clotheslines him out of the ring. Bret goes outside to grab Shawn, punches him a few times, but Shawn throws Bret into the ring corner, the blue corner of the ring. Bret stumbles, goes to sit down on top of the ring bell person. Hey, isn't that Tony Chimmel? It is Tony Chimmel. Wow, look at that. That's future WWE announcer. Announcer? No. Ring announcer. Tony Chimmel, rated R superstar. That guy. He was the bell guy at this time. I didn't know that. Alright, cool. So, Bret's sitting on him, and now Shawn Michaels is about to super kick Bret, but Bret moves out of the way, and it hits Tony Chimmel in the face, and he is out of it. Oh no. Bret Hart throws Shawn Michaels back in the ring. Again, another rest hold. Meanwhile, WWE officials come out to get Tony Chimmel out of there. Um, Even showing replays of that super kick to the face. Even showing Jerry Lawler reaction to that. It's like, oh, it's so hilarious. This match is completely awesome in every aspect of being dramatic, as well as, oh no, is Tony Chimpo going to be okay? He turns out to be okay, guys. Don't worry about it. Back in the ring again. 5, 10 minutes of more rest holds, like a chin lock. Bret Hart still holds on to him. Remember, guys, Shawn Michaels wrote the first 25 minutes of the match. This is all Shawn Michaels right here. The next 30 minutes is Bret Hart. So let's see how that changes completely. It is said that Shawn Michaels bit his tongue in one of the scenes, in one of the segments right here, and as aggressive as he was, Shawn decided to punch Bret Hart in the abdomen, or the real stiff punch. Bret Hart took a receipt and kicked him, booted him in the face during that. So we'll see when this actually starts happening over here pretty soon. 40 minutes into the match, Still rest holds. Brett tries to overpower Sean with a chin lock, but Sean tries to get out of it again. Um, a lot of rest holds in this match, apparently. I wasn't expecting this many rest holds. If you're keeping count, let me know how many rest holds I ended up talking about here. Uh, Shawn Michaels does a drop kick. Again, another rest hold. Another arm, cinching the arm again. At 39 minutes, we finally get to the submission moves. Shawn Michaels tries to do an armbar, but Bret Hart reverses it and tries to do a headlock, but Shawn Michaels reverses that and tries to do a behind um, arm lock. So during this whole, it's transitioning over to Bret Hart's match type where they start doing chain holds. Yes, there it is. They start doing the chain holds where one after the other one. One gets up, the other one stays down. The other one stays down, one gets up. It's like that. But a lot of pain between these two. Referee Earl Hebner gets in there as always and tries to check on both wrestlers, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, to see if they submit. And you can see it in their faces. They don't want to submit. Not here. Not in this match.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening!
Movies and feelings. Pop, pop. Bring Your Own Popcorn is a podcast that dives into people and the movies who love them. Let us preach to your choir or stoke your ire as we spiral down memory lane with cult classics, Jurassics, and other genres that rhyme with traffic. What we lack in education, we make up for with comedy, compassion, and camaraderie. I'm your host, Mixtape Majesty, inviting you to join me and an assortment of wonderful guests on fine podcast apps everywhere. Bring your own popcorn.
So we're now at Bret Hart's 30 minutes of him taking over this match, him riding this match, and he starts doing pummeling after pummeling, uh, hitting Shawn Michaels' face. I didn't realize until now that there was a reason to Bret Hart hitting Shawn Michaels in the face, hitting him in the head, when at the time, 3 months ago, he was dealing with the concussion storyline. That needed to happen here, apparently, because he knew that he needed to do that bit of concussion, and he did it. Shawn continues to work on the arm of Bret, swinging Bret's arm on the ring post, even doing a shoulder breaker back in the ring. Shawn gets in the ring, gets on the top rope, and does a double axe cross handle, whatever, double axe handle on top of Bret Hart's shoulder. He lifts him up over his head and throws him back down with Bret Hart's arm on his back. He's working that arm. He's trying his best to make Bret Hart submit. Again, the difference between who wrote this match. The first 25 minutes is Shawn Michaels doing resting holds and doing whatever is necessary to break down the other. The next 30 minutes, Bret Hart actually working this match, uh, telling Shawn, all right, you're going to do this to my arm, you're going to do this to my arm. And he kept on doing it. He kept on working the arm, throwing him to the turnbuckle, into the padded turnbuckle, I might add, throwing him into the other padded turnbuckle and continuing to work the arm. And continuing to work the arm. Shawn Michaels throws Bret Hart into the ropes. Bret comes back. Shawn does a shoulder DDT on Bret and then goes back to doing an armbar on him. Referee Earl Hebner gets in Bret Hart's face, tries to check on him to see if he will submit. He doesn't. Bret continues on to this match. Shawn Michaels is pissed off. He is desperate to try to work over Bret Hart, try to get one on Bret Hart in a submission match. Shawn Michaels continues to do the arm by doing a armbar, but Bret immediately reverses it. You could see Bret Hart writhing in pain, holding on to his shoulder. The next 30 minutes is Bret Hart trying to overcome this as well. Shawn Michaels. After the armbar sequence, Bret Hart gets out of it and continues to do the concussion storyline by hitting Shawn Michaels in the head once again, lifts him up, and slingshots him into the ropes. Bret gets back up, both exasperated. It's been 30 minutes. They've gone this far before. They have not gone an hour against each other before. Bret goes to grab Shawn's leg and wheelbarrows him onto the ring post. Shawn immediately gets hit, gets back up again. Shawn's head hit the ring post. Again, the concussion storyline still in effect on this match. Shawn flops over to the middle of the ring, thinking Bret Hart has one on him. Bret slowly tries to go cover Shawn, hits a 2 count. That's it. Bret picks up Shawn again, tries to hit him over the turnbuckle, but Shawn reverses it and hits Bret 3 other times on the turnbuckle. Bret once again tries to hit Shawn Michaels in the head by doing the running bulldog on Shawn and then goes up to the top rope, but Shawn moves him out of the way. Instead, he tries to hit the top rope bulldog. Earl Hebner is in the way, and they hit Earl Hebner. And it's the first time they do it throughout this match, and it doesn't even last long. It's now just Earl Hebner trying to do a slow count on both of them. There was actually no reason for Earl Hebner to get hit in this match at all, with no effects to this match whatsoever. He got up right away, didn't even sell it. He just got knocked down for like a few seconds, got right back up. It's like, nah, I'm good, guys. We have 30 more minutes. Let's go. Let's keep going on this match. And they do. Shawn Michaels throws Bret into the ropes. Bret comes back. Shawn tries to do a hip toss, overhead toss, but Bret stops in the way and does a what is that? A pile driver on Shawn Michaels. Again, you know what that means, right? The concussion status in this match. Shawn Michaels still reeling from the effects that he when he was hit by Owen Hart back in December. Still, we see him try to get out of these certain situations. Bret Hart doing the pile driver on Shawn Michaels, and then, thinking we might get Shawn Michaels to submit here or get pinned, but no, Shawn Michaels continues. Shawn Michaels is still in this match, regardless of a concussion or not. And of course, the Hitman continues to put a hit on Shawn Michaels. He deliberately hit the leg drop on Shawn Michaels' head. That is long-term storytelling right there. Shawn Michaels goes to the corner. Bret Hart gets up from getting hit. Shawn Michaels runs up to Bret and hits a Hurricane Rana. Nobody has seen that. Nobody calls it that at the time. They call it a Frankensteiner because of course, Scott Steiner. But you have not seen this type of wrestling during this era. You don't see AAA wrestling until 1997 at the Royal Rumble. This right here, Shawn Michaels does a Hurricane Rana, looks over at Jose Lothario, and he gives him a thumbs up. He did well. Lucha Libre style. There's 27 minutes into the match. Bret Hart gets up onto the ring ropes. Shawn Michaels checks on him, tries to do a sweet chin music, but Bret Hart gets out of the ring. Shawn Michaels immediately goes up top rope. Bret Hart walks the corner. Shawn Michaels jumps up, dives onto Bret Hart, and knocks both of them out. Shawn Michaels gets in the ring, waits in there for a little bit. The referee starts counting. He's at 5. Shawn says, no, I want him in the ring. I want to pin him. He doesn't want to win this first fall like this. He wants to actually pin Bret Hart. So he goes outside, throws Bret Hart in the ring, then gets back up and top of the turnbuckle and tries to crossbody block onto Bret, but Bret reverses it, does a pin of his own. 1, 2, he kicks out. Shawn throws Bret into the ring ropes. Bret reverses it, tries to do a slide, a roll up slide. There you go. But Shawn reverses that too. Shawn rolls Bret Hart up. Bret Hart kicks out. Shawn goes back to work on Bret Hart shoulder again. There are no more resting holds. Instead, there's only repeats of what just happened. Shawn throws Bret into the ropes. Bret comes back. Shawn hits that punch into Bret's chest. Bret is reeling. That's the real stiff punch right there. Bret gets back up. Shawn throws him to the ring. Then there's that rest hold again. I guess I lied. No, Bret immediately reverses it. Bret backs up into the corner and hits Shawn's head. Uh, Bret moves forward, but Shawn goes back to work on Bret's shoulder, or he does a chin lock. Never mind. There's another rest hold. 24 minutes left in the match, and Shawn decides to do a chin hold. Keep in mind, nobody has pinned anybody here. They are still 0-0. Uh, they basically worked 45 minutes of the match, and both are out of it. They're still trying to get into it. That is a number 10 to them. Both want to settle down, chill for a little bit. Shawn throws Bret into the corner. Bret stays in the corner. Shawn runs up to Bret, but Bret uh, tosses him to the outside of the ring and hits a cameraman, I believe. Yeah, cameraman gets hit. Shawn lands awkwardly outside. They all check on him. Again, the concussion storyline still in effect here.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Dawn.
And if you've ever watched a TV show and thought to yourself, oh my god, that season finale plot twist was absolutely bonkers.
Or seen a movie and thought, wow, I need to talk to somebody about this train wreck immediately.
Then we think you'll fit right in with our podcast, I Hate It, Let's Watch It. We watch TV shows like Riverdale and Emily in Paris.
And movies like Deep Water, Killer Sofa, Rubber, and Deadly Illusions. And we give them the total rinsing they deserve.
It's basically group therapy for movie masochists. So come check us out wherever you stream podcasts.
Bret Hart is resting in the ring while Earl Hebner does the count. Instead, Bret decides to go outside, pick up Shawn, and throw him into the ring post. Back into the ring post. He hurt his back. Bret immediately picks up Shawn and throws him back in the ring. He wants to win also by pinning Shawn Michaels. They still don't like each other after all these years. Bret throws Shawn Michaels back into the ring. He picks him up some and works on his back. He realizes that Shawn Michaels' back is hurting. He continues to do some back hits. Throws him to the corner. He does the leg, not the leg, the knee drop, the elbow drop from the top rope on to Shawn's back. He does the backbreaker on Shawn. Bret Hart throws Shawn Michaels to the corner. Shawn Michaels does his usual thing where he just sets himself up in the corner. Bret immediately goes up there, does a back body drop from the top rope onto Shawn Michaels. Again, his head hits the mat. Bret Hart immediately pins Shawn Michaels. The referee counts 1, 2, no, kick out. 15, no, not yet, 15, 18 minutes into the match. 18 minutes left in the match, and Bret still continues to work on Shawn Michaels' back by doing a submission hold. Referee Earl Hebner checks in on Shawn Michaels, who is writhing in pain at this moment. The punishment that he has suffered, the concussion he has suffered. Still, he doesn't want to give up. There is no giving up for either of these two. Like they both said, they are both the best wrestlers in this era. They both do not need to get pinned until the last final seconds of this match. Bret Hart throws Shawn Michaels into the corner, which in turn Shawn bumps into Jose Lothario, his own manager. Bret looks out into the crowd laughing and asks the fans, "Is this your guy? Is this your king?" Because he did say that. He looked not in that way, but is in the way where Bret Hart can only do that. He goes outside the ring and again throws Shawn Michaels into Jose Lothario and hurts him. He does. He's not hurt. Come on. Who are you talking about? Jose and Bret Hart. Bret Hart stares at Jose and tells him, "Get out of my way." Bret Hart gets back in the ring with Shawn, and now it's 15 minutes left into the match. They are both exasperated. They are both tired out. They are both burned out. You think at one point or another Shawn Michaels is going to do the sharpshooter here, but he doesn't. Not yet. He does a belly to back suplex on Shawn, tries for the cover. 1, 2, kick out. Still not enough. 50 minutes left into the match. Who is going to come out victorious in this match? Bret throws Shawn into the ropes. Shawn comes back, kicks Bret, slaps Bret in the chest, punches Bret in the face. Bret punches back. They go back and forth. They want to fucking end this match. They want this match at all costs. Bret hits a forearm to Shawn's head, bouncing him off into the ring ropes, into the corner, into the turnbuckle. Bret picks up Shawn for a suplex, and Shawn immediately gets out of it, rolls Bret Hart up. Bret reverses it again, kicks Shawn out of the ring. Shawn gets out of the ring. Once again, another rest area. Bret is in the ring waiting, but should he go outside and pick him up? No, he just sits there, waits. Shawn Michaels slowly tries to get back up, but Bret immediately goes into the corner or into his ring to the ring ropes, comes back and hits a tope suicida. He hits a human torpedo onto Shawn Michaels, and looks at. He gets back. He gets back up, of course. Looks at Shawn Michaels, who is just out of it. Bret decides, you know what, fuck this. He goes back in the ring and waits and looks out at the crowd again and looks at them and says, "I'm going to win this." But Shawn slowly comes through. He's at the 5 count. Jose is trying to get Shawn to get back in the ring. And Bret decides, you know what, just freaking raise my hand for this match. I'm here. I'm still the champion. Let him count him out already. Shawn slowly slithers his way, inches his way, kneels. He is trying to get back in the ring. The referee, Earl Hebner, is at 6, 7, and it breaks the count. Shawn Michaels gets in the ring, but Brett decides to help him along with it and suplexes him into the ring. Again, Shawn Michaels gets out of it, reverses it, tries to suplex Brett, but Brett reverses it also and does a German suplex on Shawn Michaels. Yes, Suplex City on Shawn Michaels. And in doing so, he bridges that suplex into a pin cover. 1, 2, kick out. Again, Bret Hart is pissed off. There's 10 more minutes left into the match, and Bret can't get the job done. It's been almost an hour. It's been 50 minutes, and Bret is still trying to beat up Shawn Michaels, trying to hit him in the head, trying to work on that concussion mode, and no effects. And there's that kick to the face. There's that receipt that we've all been wondering when was going to happen, and there it is. Oh, another kick to the midsection. The kick to the face just happened. Shawn is writhing in pain. Bret picks him up, headbutts him back down. Again, another rest area hold, but it's not just any ordinary rest hold. Bret Hart is sitting on top of Shawn's back, covering his mouth and nose. And 10 more minutes into the match, nine more minutes into the match, and Bret Hart is trying to stop the airflow, trying to get him to submit by stop his breathing. He is trying to kill him. I don't think he really wanted to, but at the same time, if there was a way to actually get someone to submit, is by not having him breathe into the match, by covering his airflow, by covering his mouth and nose while there's 8 more minutes in, then yeah, he was trying to kill Shawn Michaels.
The monster blood changed direction, still bouncing and quivering and leaving white stains on the grass like enormous round footsteps.
Joe, stop reading it. This is too scary for me.
You're right. It is too scary.
If only we could talk about Goosebumps in a way that isn't scary.
Well, guess what, nerds? There might be a podcast like that called Geesebumps.
Geesebumps?
Did you mean Goosebumps?
Maybe. Geesebumps is a comedy podcast based on the works of R.L. Stine. Hosted by me, Danielle, PhD.
And me, Jojo, PhD.
And me, Jeff, regular person.
Featuring goofs, funny voices, and the occasional critical thought.
Geesebumps!
Available on Podbean and everywhere else podcasts can be found.
It's 5 more minutes into the match. Shawn Michaels, this is Shawn Michaels' moment right here. He wrote this down. Bret tried to throw Shawn Michaels into the ropes. Shawn Michaels comes back. They both do a double clothesline on each other. They are both almost out of it. 55 minutes into the match. They're kicking, they're punching, they're screaming. They are tired. They are both tired. And they went toe to toe against each other. They can hang. They are the best wrestlers of this era. There is a reason they both got number 1 on the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500 in 1993, 1996. Both of them. Shawn is out. Bret tries to do the sharpshooter on Shawn, but Shawn holds on to his leg, tries to kick him out of it, won't allow him to do that. He has been in the sharpshooter before. He doesn't like it. Instead, Bret does a figure 4 leg lock, tries to go for a figure 4 leg lock, but Shawn won't allow him to do it. Instead, Bret does a single leg crab on Shawn Michaels, punishing him some more on his back. Tries to do 3 submission moves in under 1 minute. The sharpshooter couldn't get it. The figure 4 couldn't get it. Instead, he rolled him around for a single leg Boston Crab. The single leg Boston Crab. And Shawn holds on to the ropes. Can't get it done. Bret gets up. Again, he picks up Shawn and continues to pummel him. 5 more minutes into the match. What can you do? Backbreaker on Sean's back again. Here we go with the patented moves. Bret Hart goes up the top rope. Yeah, does a Hitman style elbow, point of the elbow onto Sean's face. No. Instead, Sean puts his legs up, kicks Bret Hart in the face. For about a few 30 seconds, Bret Hart tries to get up, and he does. He tries to look at Sean. Sean hits a drop kick on Bret, throws him to the corner. Sean backs up, forearm into the face of Bret. Sean throws Bret into the corner of the other ring ropes, and this is where Bret does his usual chest bump into the turnbuckle, which makes you think at the time that he really does get hurt. But once you think about it, those things are padded. It's a lie. It's a ruse. Sean goes, picks up Bret, throws him to the ropes. Bret reverses it, throws Sean into the ropes. Sean comes back. Forearm smash onto Bret's face. Both are out of it, or so you think. Shawn Michaels does the kip up. He is ready. He's crowding. He's hyping up the crowd. He does the face, kick to the face. He does his patented moves. Puts Bret Hart in the middle of the ring. Tries to go for a moonsault, but Bret gets up. Tries to get Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels does a double axe handle on Bret's face. And we are 2 minutes left. 2-minute warning. Shawn goes for a suplex. How do you get this man done? How? Shawn hits the suplex, puts Bret Hart in the middle of the ring. Shawn goes up the top rope again. You know what that means, right? Elbow drop onto Bret's sternum. Shawn goes for the cover. 1, 2, no. Still a kick out. Shawn looks up at the crowd, says, son of a bitch, how do I get you out? 2 minutes left into the match. Shawn throws Bret Hart into the ropes. Bret Hart comes back. Shawn kicks Bret in the gut. Gut-wrench powerbomb? Okay, that was new. Instead of covering, Shawn goes up to the top rope. Bret immediately gets back up, tries to get him, but Shawn does a moonsault onto Bret, covers him. 1, 2, no, kick out again. The crowd is on their feet. They can't wait. 1 more minute into the match. Bret throws Shawn into the corner. Shawn kicks Bret in the face. He gets in the middle of the ropes, tries to do a powerbomb, instead does a hurricanrana. 1, 2, kick out again. 1 minute left into the match. What does Shawn Michaels have to do? What does Bret Hart have to do? What do they both have to do? Shawn scoop slams Bret, throws him back down. He gets up, goes back up to the top rope. What is Shawn going to do now? He climbs the turnbuckle. The crowd is behind him. Everybody is up on their feet. Bret Hart starts to get up. Shawn Michaels gets on the top rope. He jumps, and he thinks he's going to do another hurricanrana, but Bret makes him land on the bottom. Cinches his legs, does the sharpshooter, and for 30 seconds, Shawn Michaels keeps saying no, no, no. 30 seconds left. 20 seconds left. Referee Earl Hebner checks on Shawn. Shawn keeps saying no. 15 seconds left. And then the crowd gets in on it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Shawn Michaels writhing in pain, saying no. 3, 2, 1. The bell rings. The match is over. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels have lasted an hour without pinning one or the other. Shawn Michaels, writhing in pain. Bret Hart gets up. He grabs the referee Earl Hebner grabs the belt and is about to hand it to Bret Hart. But Gorilla Monsoon is at ringside area and he decides to tell referee Earl Hebner, hold on, just wait a minute. Bret Hart takes the belt with him, goes to the back. He says, no, fuck this, I'm out. Starts high-fiving all the fans. Meanwhile, in the ring, Gorilla Monsoon, the president of the WWF at the time, kayfabe, is talking to Earl Hebner, and we see some commotion there. The ring announcer is in there also, and Gorilla Monsoon basically says there must be a winner in this match. Bret Hart looks back at what's going on in the ring. Just keep going, dude. Just keep going. No, just keep going to the back. Instead, he hears the ring announcer say, there must be a winner. There must be a winner. Sudden death. Bret Hart says, why? What are you talking about? Why? I won. They're in overtime now. Bret Hart must get in the ring, or else he loses, or else he forfeits. Bret Hart gets back in the ring, throws the belt outside, and looks at Gorilla Monsoon and says, why? I just won. What are you talking about? Gorilla Monsoon says, no, there must be a winner. One of you have to get pinned. And he says, all right then, you know what? Let me go. Bret Hart looks out into the crowd, doesn't understand why. Meanwhile, Shawn Michaels, writhing in pain, trying to get back up. Instead, Bret tells the ring announcer to ring the bell. He'll do it. He goes after Shawn again, hits him in the back, pummels his back. Bret kicks him in the back, knees him in the back. Shawn is getting taken care of right now. Bret, once again, throws Shawn into the ropes. Shawn comes back body toss onto the ring apron. Ring mat, I'm sorry, not the ring apron. Bret picks up Shawn, gets him in the guillotine knee on Shawn's back. The backbreaker. The guillotine backbreaker is what it's called. Bret throws Shawn into the ropes, into the middle, the ring corner of the ring. Bret goes after him. Shawn reverses it, gets out of it. Bret turns around and is met with a super kick by Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart both are out of it. No, Bret Hart still moving around. Shawn Michaels is the one that's out of it, apparently. Doesn't say. It doesn't say. But Bret is looped out. He looks around. He's moving around, but he can't believe that just happened. Shawn Michaels slowly slithers up. He slowly gets towards his corner of the ring. Bret is trying to move around. Bret is trying to get up, but he can't. He is hit. He was hit with a super kick. He is trying to get back up. Shawn gets in the corner, looks at the crowd, looks at Bret Hart, another super kick. He goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Shawn Michaels. The boyhood dream has come true, as Vince McMahon once said about Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is your winner by sudden death by an hour and 1 more minute into the match. That's how long the match lasted. An hour, 1 minute, and 56 seconds. Referee Earl Hebner checks on Bret Hart. Actually, no. Shawn Michaels grabs the belt, looks over at Shawn, who is looking over at Bret Hart, still writing and reeling over there. And what was said is that Shawn Michaels had yelled out to referee Earl Hebner, tell Bret Hart to get that motherfucker out of my ring. This is my moment. This is my time to shine. And so referee Earl Hebner, still with the belt, turns to look at Brett, and he tells Brett, get the hell out of the ring. It's his moment to shine. On his way out, Brett gets back up, looks down at Sean, and something was said to each other. Something was said to each other because they both stood up. They both had like 5 seconds to say something to each other. And Bret Hart leaves, and he just immediately gets pissed. He throws the Canadian flag out of the way. He doesn't want to shake hands. He is out the door. Takes off his ring gear and leaves. Shawn Michaels is in the middle of the ring, holding the WWE World Championship belt, crying his eyes out, and with the belt, with Jose Lothario, with the crowd, with the clique. Yes, that's what he called the fans at the time, the clique. Shawn Michaels is now the World Wrestling Federation champion. Federation at the time, the World Wrestling Entertainment champion. The WWE Heavyweight champion at WrestleMania 12. This is why this match is my favorite of all time. This is the reason, because they both, two of the greatest wrestlers in my era, two of my favorite wrestlers, both lasted 1 hour to fight each other. This is the reason. That was it. That was WrestleMania 12. After everything that just happened here in this 1 hour match and the past other matches from the Sunday episode, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I love this moment. Besides the fact that Triple H got his ass handed to him in a 30-second match, probably 1 minute, I don't care, against fucking Ultimate Warrior, I hated that. Besides that, this whole pay-per-view, this is the reason why it gets a 10 out of 10. There was some criticism, of course. You can't have a great match without some criticism around here these days because people will talk shit about it no matter what. WrestleMania 12 received generally positive reviews from critics who aimed praise particularly at the main event. Rob McNew of 411 Mania called the opening match really good and gave it 4 stars out of 5 stars. However, he called the match between Hemsley and the Ultimate Warrior the worst of the night, going on to call it the funniest squash ever, considering that Triple H is now arguably a bigger star than Warrior was. He gave the main event the highest score of the night with 4 stars. However, he says the match isn't for everyone. Continuing, he says it's about a 3-star match for the first 40 minutes. The last 20 are an easy 5 stars. He gave the entire event a score of 7 out of 10. In 2015, Ryan Dilbert of Bleacher Report called it the 16th greatest of the 30 WrestleMania events. While the Iron Man match gets positive reviews, PW insiders Mike Johnson pointing that the match wasn't that good and that both wrestlers were working in spite of each other, not together. Oh, shut up. Mike Johnson, who the... Yeah, you fucking work at a PW Insider and now you get to say whatever. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. I'm glad you hated that match. All the more reason for us to watch it. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me, apparently. That was a long episode of me. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. I will do more play-by-play wrestling events of the top, some of my favorite top matches of all time. I could possibly throw in Bret Hart versus the 1-2-3 Kid, Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog at Wembley Stadium, Shawn Michaels versus the British Bulldog, something around there. You know, it's all good. That's going to do it for me. Thank you for the support tonight. Those that have been listening, you can find us on other sort of social or audio streaming platforms at our Linktree at linktree.com/From Under the Apron. It has a link to our blog, our socials, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, plus any of your favorite audio streaming devices such as GoodPods, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio accounts, where you can listen to us as well as leave us a comment or a 5-star review, which help us be discovered by other fans of wrestling and podcast, as well as the 20 other music and podcast streaming services. If you haven't yet, please follow us on Spotify. We have 73 followers now on there so far. We need those 30 more, so give us a follow. We need up to 100, basically. Let me know when you do by emailing me, and I will gladly shout you on the podcast on the next episode. Check out the show notes for links to other podcast trailers that you heard on this episode. Send us a message of your favorite wrestling stories, questions, comments, ratings, or requests by email. It is FromUnderTheApron@gmail.com, and I will do my best to get to them and answer accordingly. Thank you for listening, joining the live, staying, the gifts, everything. I really love you guys. You are a big, huge part of this community. Tell your friends about me, please. Join us next time for more stories, movies, TV shows, reviews, as well as wrestling-related stories where we come to you from... What's that thing again? Oh yeah, From Under the Apron. This is my boyhood dream.